telling you. I'd hate to see if he collected trophies.
What's up, folks? Fig Cave, we are live here with we're doing the post show for not double or nothing. What am I doing? It's NXT's in your house. And so we got our boy Kenny from Kenny's Corrections and the Call Up, and we got our boy Mike Lanham, friend of one of the best friends of the show, if you will. So we'll start off overall. Like, we'll go overall, and then we'll say a few words about the matches, and then we'll come back. So overall, what'd you guys think?
Mike?
It's a good show. It kind of snuck up on me. Like, this seems like maybe the least promoted takeover in a long time.
Yeah,
like so many people are like, "There's a takeover tonight." I guess one, because it was on a Sunday, which they've kind of done a few of those, and then two, it was just kind of it doesn't seem like that long ago that they had one, and then WWE just had their main pay-per-view and have another one coming up. So yeah, it was still a good show, just not quite to that top tier takeover, but not one that you would also be like, "Oh, this was a terrible show." It was a good show. It's not a great show.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, and it was good to see a lot more fans in the in the
like that.
Yeah, that was yes.
Yeah, I actually had a friend that was there, so.
Oh, nice.
And he took pictures, and it was like a lot more people because obviously NXT, they darkened the background. So
right. I did like the neon lights under the seats though. I did like that. I agree with both of you. I thought it was like, it was not in the upper echelon. But it did satisfy that, this is a pay-per-view. So I should have some pay-per-view level matches here. And so I think they did do their job with that. And like you said, it was like, it's kind of crazy that, I'm with you guys. I'm like Friday rolled around. I'm like, wait, there's a pay-per-view on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought it was like, solid show. And we'll go over the matches and
they announced another show in 3 weeks, but it's on it's during a normal NXT
during
or on a Tuesday, so it's not a Sunday or Saturday event. It's kind of like what AEW does, where they'll do a show just replacing their normal NXT show. But yeah, to be like, oh, here's another one in 3 weeks. You're like, well, now you got to turn around and try to live up to hype on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing about NXT shows is that they're not 3 hours. So there's gonna be some people that deserve to be in the pay-per-view that are not going to be on the card just for storyline reason, right? So, you'll see them now. We'll be able to get to see. We'll probably get like Dexter in the next.
There's all kinds of storylines going on NXT that had nothing to do with tonight. So, plus you had like multiple tag type or combo matches or 5-way matches, and now you can kind of spread those out to fill other parts of the card.
And did you guys like the old school? Did you guys like the old school feel and having our boy come back and like he was about to put in a VHS tape to show one of the video ads?
The beginning part of that pay-per-view was the girl was at Naomi Fox. Like, she messed up the whole beginning. Like, she kind of just stood there. I don't know if her earphones was messed up or whatever that she had on there, but she stood there, and then all of a sudden the song started playing, and she realized like, oh, wait a minute, I should start singing along with the song because people are gonna know that I'm lip syncing this.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I did see that. We have a Facebook user saying Tommy purposely skipped this week's podcast to not put his predictions belt on the line.
I agree with that.
And Kenny's gonna agree with that. That might be. It might be. It's all right. It's all right. He can't hide forever.
He only got a couple more days because there's another pay-per-view on Sunday.
Right. let's see. All right, let's go with this first match, which we were talking before we came on the air. I kind of like the idea, like how having this 6-man tag, but everybody like one of the teams, all of their titles were on the line in this match. And so you had MSK and Bronson Reed versus the Phantasmas. What'd you guys think?
I thought this was a great match. They didn't have too many like outside spots. Though Lightning was like the one really good outside spot that they had. They used like everyone, which was great. Like I was saying before we got on the air, it was just like they should just make a trios like title and just let them defend it like on all three brands, because you have like, you know, Io de Fantasma, you have New Day, you can put them back together. You have who else? There's like 3-man tags, you know, in WWE.
You have these factions. You definitely have these factions that
it might
that
go
work
well.
with. What you think, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, outside of like your pretty much your guys that were in the main event, like these are probably 6 of your best guys on the roster right now.
Mm-hmm.
They always seem to put on really good matches, and obviously MSK is getting that rub and probably going to have a pretty lengthy title run here. But I like what they're doing with Bronson Reed. I like that they've kind of put these guys in matches with like everybody, not just cruiserweights. Like,
right.
I mean, he fought Karrion Kross, and then the next week he'll fight Bronson Reed, and the next week he'll fight Kushida. So it's like, I mean, he's getting all the time right now to show his talent.
Right.
So yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I'm sure we're going to get another North American title match at Great American Bash more than likely, but yeah.
Well, great North American title, Great American Bash.
Yeah, I mean,
right. Yeah, I
then,
like Escobar a lot. So
yeah, I like all 3 of those. Like you said, pretty much everybody in this match. I like watching in the ring. So, and I thought that they had a good chemistry. We got a B+ from Bleacher Report on that.
Yeah, I'd almost no. Kenny doesn't agree.
No, I wouldn't give it a B+.
Lower?
I would give it B-.
Yeah, it's definitely not an. It's not. I wouldn't put it in the A category. It's definitely in the B's. Yeah, so maybe a B. Not quite.
It was like and which I think for a opening match, that's what you want. Like you want at least to get a solid B match to start your show. So yeah, I would agree with a B.
Carlos,
it's a good way to start. It's a good way to start the show.
Yeah,
Carlos is saying they need to build the tag team division, which is true. They do need to build a solid.
So many tag teams on NXT.
Yeah. All right, next match. We have Mercedes Martinez and Xia Li, which was like this was a decent match. Well, first off, you got 2 like I like both performers in this match. That ending with what's the mentor's name?
Mei Ling or something.
Yeah, she turned out to be badass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
she's obviously smaller like a lot of the NXT women's wrestlers, but it'll be interesting to see what they do once she like I guess wrestles, because this like
a little
goofy storyline like NXT tries to stay away from that. It's like the one time they've really dug into it. So like she's 1,000 years old and she's got like magical powers. Like that's like a Raw type thing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But obviously, like you start matches off with like fighting somebody like a veteran like Mercedes before you move on to other women on the roster. So but yeah, like you said, you got 2 women that can both go in the ring, and I think at this point Mercedes is there to help put the younger girls over and make them look good.
Right.
And yeah, Xia Li is I don't know if she'll ever be Io Shirai, but I think she's going to get
plenty of high flyer. Yeah.
No, I think she's going to get plenty of chances.
But she's got the martial arts
she can do. Yeah.
Yeah, she's definitely got the martial arts strike thing going.
And it's good to have her in this like, not to come back to factions, but she's in a group in a faction. Like if she was just by herself, everybody would just be like, "Oh, this is Io Shirai Light or Asuka Light or whatever." Not just because she's like has that Asian type thing going. Just a singles character that probably isn't going to talk on the microphone a lot.
Right.
But yeah, her in-ring talent is there. So having this kind of storyline and stuff adds a little bit more to it than just the wrestling.
Yeah, because it's gotten a whole lot better. I mean, like transition-wise, her, going into like this dark heel character has improved, her in-ring skills a whole lot more because she's been working her ass off.
Right.
And this is a great rematch from the Mae Young Classic.
Yeah, I like how they brought that back.
Yeah,
they brought that to remind everybody that they have a history. And like you said, like it was a good rematch. For
I'm
sure.
praise they give her character, Carlos.
And then B- from Bleacher.
I don't know. I would give it a B+. I think I like this one better than the opener.
Oh, okay.
It's good
So here's a
storytelling.
question:
Obviously, they're gonna wrestle again.
Is Zaya a babyface? We have a question here.
I don't think so.
I think Mercedes was.
Yeah, at this point, I think. I mean, it'll probably lead to eventually something where Zaya fights Mei Ling or whatever her name is months down the road. But for now, I think she's kind of that. She's that heel character without being a heel. It's the guilty by association,
right?
Type thing. But she's obviously not what she was. Let's say like a year ago.
No, she came in. She had a big smile on her face. Did a couple of spin kicks in her entrance and all that. But now that's not what she's doing. So
she's got a great look. So
I like the outfit she had on today. Like that was dope.
Right. Plus NXT has the I can't remember it. The other Asian girl that they're bringing in that they had her in the crowd with Stephanie McMahon a couple months back. That girl still hasn't been on TV yet either. So, so at some point they'll bring her in and
right. Yeah, you got to get her a story. Like they probably just don't want to shove her in there.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Next match, $1 million championship match for the ladder match with Cameron Grimes and LA Knight.
What are you shaking your head at, Kenny?
That match was horrible. Okay, they've been building up Cameron Grimes for months now since he did this whole big boom with GameStop and got all this money, and you build him up that he's throwing money at people, hundreds of dollars all over the place. You put him in a champion. He finally meets Ted DiBiase. Yeah. After all this reference dropping of Ted DiBiase, he finally comes to NXT. You put him in a ladder match and you don't have him win. Who booked this?
And I feel like it would have worked better as like a swerve type thing, I guess. But I kind of expected it to be this way because I feel like Cameron right now is the comedy relief, and they can just continue to do stuff with him because he was winning matches there for a while. Like he was beating some pretty big names, and then they do all this. The match overall wasn't good. I'm actually okay with LA Knight winning the belt because I think he needs something like this to be relevant. Like it's like the ringmaster thing all over again. Like he even kind of has that Austin look with the trunks and the white boots and stuff like that. Like, and the guy can wrestle. He's good on the mic. He's been around for years, but he's never going to be like world champion. And I'm not saying he's going to be the next Stone Cold or anything like that, but I kind of like his type of character and his look having that belt over Cameron. So at this point, Cameron's just gonna. That's funny. At this point, Cameron's just gonna chase the belt, and eventually we'll end up with it. But more than likely, LA Knight's gonna beat him in the rematch.
Charles Andrews is going crazy down here.
There could have been so many different storylines you could have did with this. I understand Cameron guys has like that, that comedy. But when he gets pissed, I mean, he turns it on and he wins his matches.
Yeah.
And that was the same way like Ted DiBiase used to do. He used to come out in the crowd with Virgil and have kids dribble a basketball or have people kiss his feet and stuff like that. He used to make fun of them. Cameron Grimes could have did the same exact thing. LA Knight's going to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin all over again, hold on to the belt and do absolutely nothing with this thing.
Well, I mean, I guess they are kind of going for, the LA attitude. And, I believe he does come up like LA Knight also like drives up to the arena in a sports car and all of that stuff. But I do agree. I think it would have been a little bit more entertaining to have LA Knight with the. Cameron Grimes with the title.
Yeah, Cameron's just gonna chase him now because I really don't know, because it's a gimmick title. So like,
right.
Who else?
It's the FTW. It's actually like those, so. It's actually
out of these two guys,
FTW
who else is really gonna fight for this title? Like,
right?
It should just be them over and over, and eventually it'll just fade into the background. It won't be a thing. Like I said, FTW title, like they'll kind of mention it, they'll carry it around, and then eventually it'll just go away.
Right. Well, I guess they had to have something to reach for in the ladder match. And I
like that it was in the glass case and not just.
I did like the case.
Hanging by itself. So.
How about the gold ladder?
Right.
Oh my god! I mean, I did love the gold ladder. So.
Bleacher Report A-.
The fuck out of here!
It definitely wasn't better than either of the other two matches.
No, I didn't think it was better than
Cameron taking that bump at the end though. Bravo for him.
Because
if he had missed that ladder,
I want to know what they were drinking.
Because you want some?
I mean, Bleacher Report is definitely not the best to go by their reviews.
All right, Raquel Gonzalez versus Ember Moon for the women's title.
This was a great match.
Yeah.
Every single match so far that Raquel Gonzalez has been doing has been like, it's been improving more and more.
Oh.
And she's only getting better. I mean, I don't know like who they're gonna have to take the belt off of her right now, but
you're dealing with the same thing with Karrion Kross. Like, you have two powerhouses. It's like,
right.
How do you take the belt off either one of these? And like you said, like she's improving at such a great rate, because if you told me a year ago she was going to be the champion of NXT, I probably would have laughed at you, because she was just this big presence, and like the Diesel type character who nobody thought could really put on a good match.
Remember the first thing she showed up, she did a botch where she was supposed to powerbomb somebody through the table.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And they hit their head on the table and bounced off.
Yeah, I think she's kind of coming into her own. Like, she's embracing the character, she's embracing the champion. Like the Instagram photo shoots and stuff like that. Like, she's showing different sides of herself. It's not just that character. So I kind of hope it eventually leads to a Dakota Kai type match.
Right. There's gonna be a turn sooner or later.
Sure, yeah. Eventually it has to happen. Like, it's almost like you could see Raquel as the baby face, but I like her so much better as a heel. But it's kind of what I expect to see sometime, maybe closer to like that takeover at SummerSlam, probably within the few months, probably.
Yeah, because you have. I do like how I think she wanted to kind of shake that. When she first won the title, people started to notice that she might be a trumper and all of that kind of thing. So I think she's trying to distance herself from that. And like you said, she had her in-ring work. I think she did start to figure out, okay, it's not all about how big my my back muscles are. I got to actually do the work here in the ring.
She doesn't even have to like do a lot of moves. She makes the ones she does count. Like, they're powerful. She's not really botching anything. Like, catching Ember Moon on some of those moves, she could have easily like slipped and dropped her, and everybody would have been like, "Oh, this girl's sloppy in the ring and stuff." And she's done so well. So,
and I agree with Chuck on his comment here, where like that tag team match that's coming up on NXT is they're going to be knocking each other around here. Grizzled Young Veterans against Thatcher and Ciampa is going to be that's going to be a slobber knocker. Like.
Yeah, but it's good to not have to put those kind of matches on a pay-per-view, that you can have something for people to enjoy on a Tuesday night.
Come on the weekly basis, yep. And then if Shotzi was there the whole time, why didn't she just come out from the beginning?
Because you're building a story, Carlos.
Yeah.
Chuck. Oh, man.
She didn't even come out in the tank. Jeez.
Yeah.
So that one Bleacher Report gave that one an A.
Yeah,
okay.
That one deserves an A.
Yeah.
All right, so that leads to our main event. you got Cross versus Cole versus O'Reilly versus Gargano versus Dunn.
Can we talk about the outfits first?
Okay.
I don't want to sound like a fashion show, but damn.
Well, you could take it to a fig, like you could turn it towards
yeah, that's gonna be a figure, like
yeah.
By the summertime, by at least Christmas, we'll see those.
Yeah, that HBK tribute from Gargano.
Oh yeah,
it's quite the look tonight.
How about the fight still going on as Gargano was going to the gorilla?
Oh yeah, I like that. Or like it doesn't just end when they go through the curtain; it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then so a lot going on in this match. Like there was not, there wasn't a whole lot of rest moves or none of that stuff was happening here.
This is why you don't get 5-way matches very often. It's one too many, I guess, is how I look at it. Like I think 3-way, 4-way, that's my limit for wrestling. 5 is almost too much. Say again, Kenny?
I said there were so many spots. Like,
oh yeah,
it was like, when you watch one of those movies and somebody says it's like, hey, you have to sit there and pay attention because if you blink once, you're not gonna remember like anything else. Like you'll be lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a few movies where it's like, no, you gotta be all the way focused. This was that kind of match because they did like all get their stuff in. They told a story. There was a couple, like, I guess one of my only issues with the match was like, okay, so you had the double power bomb onto the table Cross got power bombed on the table.
Right.
He was not in the match for a while. Once he gets up, he has no cell on that power. Like it's like he just took a nap and
he just laid there chilling.
Yeah, and then he wasn't selling his back or nothing. He just got right back into the match and was overpowering everybody. And it's like, okay, that part I thought was missing. Like, if I'm gonna just be a little bit critical, but other than that, I was not sure who was gonna win this match.
I thought that was more like a Brock move, like when he did that. Like after that, I think this match right here showed like he could be
right
like on a Brock Lesnar level where they can use him in that type of way on the main roster.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably what they were going for, which is you got to build your. If you want us to believe this stuff when it comes up, then you got to show it. So there you had it. Mike, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm still not completely sold on Karrion Kross. Like, there's so many people like that are like, oh, it's time to move him to the main roster, and I was like,
I don't know about that either. Yeah,
that's the look.
Yeah,
I just don't think his mic skills are kind of hit or miss for me. Like he originally had this character that was like a little bit darker and minister and stuff. Then all of a sudden he just starts talking on the mic kind of normal. And then now like he went from if you hit him it had no effect to taking damage and stuff. Like he's still like the most dominant guy on their roster, but kind of back to like the Raquel Gonzalez thing. It's like she's really impressed me with her wrestling, where I feel like Kross is only slowly started to get better. Mm-hmm. But when he's that much bigger than everybody, just look at everybody in that match. They're all like 6 foot and under, not your typical WWE size guy. And then you've got your big guy in Karrion Kross. So he just looks like a god next to him, and that he should just dominate him, which is great for the match and storytelling. I don't think he's quite to that level yet where everybody's like he needs to be moved up.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
I think if they move him up, he's gonna get lost in that shuffle because he's not a Roman, he's not even a Brock.
No. They'll send him to Raw.
Yeah, that's it. And that's it. I think that's what's gonna happen is because everybody's like, who's gonna beat Karrion Kross? I think the answer is no one. Like he's like Asuka. I think he'll eventually get moved up and drop the title, but I don't know that he'll lose it. It would have to be something like this where he's not in the outcome,
or something like Chuck here, like he's reminding us to remember Walter.
I mean, Walter's the only one, and Karrion Kross is a face.
I don't know about that. Yeah,
I don't buy into that. So
I don't know about that.
I'm okay with them fighting each other's heels. It'd be great.
Right. And we would all watch it. Like
neither one need to even talk on the mic. They could just wrestle, beat the shit out of each other.
I mean, Walter, I would even argue he might be a tweener. Like, I mean, there's not too many people that boo him. Like, so it's like, so you might as well call him a tweener at this point.
Yeah, and with them going on the road soon and stuff like that, like with this draft coming up.
Oh, that's right.
I feel like Walter. Sense. I feel like Walter or Karrion Kross is going to end up on the main roster.
I think definitely Walter would bring some. Like that's. I think he would bring some eyeballs in. It's just he just has that kind of a. I think he just has that kind of a personality, that kind of character that. People are like, dude, did you see what this dude just did? You know, so
like Kenny said, I hope not. Like I like what's going on NXT. I switched the SmackDown and Raw guys to freshen things up, but end of the day, keep NXT the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going like Chuck just to to get his baby face thing in here. He's like, he's got his wife at ringside. Sure. Well, you know, so did Macho Man Randy Savage.
Mm-hmm.
So and he was a heel. So yeah, so like you guys said, like it was like we were saying, it's solid pay-per-view. Did not have we didn't get the advertisement that we thought we should for this show. You know, which I mean, that's kind of the story of NXT, in my opinion, is this they're that faction of WWE that people that people don't really
what does my man Backhard doing to say is storytelling. All right, they're trying to build a television show,
right?
Carlos.
So let's
he's gonna text me later. Watch.
Oh man.
So let's talk about how this show ended.
Okay.
With William Regal just in disarray and talking about how long he's been around and it's time for a change. What does that mean? Is this? I mean, obviously, it makes people think that William Regal is stepping down as GM, but that seems like the obvious choice. So, if it's not that, what is it? And if it is that, who's there to replace him?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess you got Sean.
Yeah, HBK is the only one I could think of. That's
and then some other people that some other people that are coaches. Like you got like this would entertain me, but Samoa Joe, like that he was just seen at the performance center.
Right.
Yeah.
But if that's another guy I was thinking of earlier for Karrion Kross, like is a Samoa Joe coming back if he's going to come back as a wrestler. So like I could see Joe beating somebody like a Karrion Kross, and you still have Finn Balor, which I think is obviously not gonna. They're gonna fight again, but I don't see him beating Kross for that title either.
I thought he was going back to Raw.
We've been hearing that forever, so I think if you don't see him, I'd say if you don't see him at Great American Bash, because when is the draft? Is that mid-July?
Something like that, yeah.
Is it that weekend of the three? Like the night after SummerSlam? Is it that? No, that's August.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was sometime in July.
Wow. So you're going to have the draft before SummerSlam. That's interesting.
I thought that's what it was, but I could be wrong. I didn't even hear about the draft until somebody mentioned it when we were in Baltimore this week. So
I'm almost on the team of like getting rid of the whole having
it's not in August.
Okay.
It's after SummerSlam.
The night after?
Yeah, it's on the 30th.
Oh, okay. I'm okay. Well, it's a week after. All right. That's better. So maybe that's why we barely...
Joe versus Kross. Take my buddy.
I'm telling you. Ooh. Joe Joe doesn't have a bad opponent. I think Joe makes everybody
right.
another.
Yeah, I just
step
starting
up.
to think like the whole thing was, look, it's just like when like NFL or like you have a salary cap in NFL, and then you know how you'll have a star restructure his contract.
Yeah, they're bad contracts. I mean, Joe's
Right.
been out for that long. It's like, cut him. If you want to come back, we'll sign you, but at a lower rate.
I'm like, I think that's what's happening here.
And then it's probably, we're going to sign you back. You're going to make less money, but what do you want to do? I want to go back to NXT. Okay.
His character worked better at NXT, to be, if we're going to be 100% here.
Right. Well, yeah, he's a wrestler.
Right.
He's good on the mic.
Right.
But he doesn't have to be.
Right.
He just beat the shit out of people.
So, you know, you wouldn't have any complaints from me, like with having Joe on NXT. All right. Fig Cave folks, thank you for coming and spending some time with us. I know like it's getting late on the East Coast.
It's 11 o'clock over here.
And
long week for Kenny.
Yeah, yeah, really.
Oh my god.
And the sun hasn't even gone down over here for me.
You know, it's a little bit right
now. But yeah, we appreciate you guys coming on. There will be a podcast this week.
Just blame Tom.
Yeah, so you know,
all those fails.
Yeah, exactly. So any last, like, you know, so make sure you're tuning in to the run in. Make sure you're tuning in to the call up. What do you got coming up there, Kenny?
Let's see. I just posted I did a sit down with Wrestling is Everything. They're a group here out in New York. You see them like all the time at the Wrestling Universe. So let's see. I'm gonna argue with Kenny. Yeah. So they're a big wrestling group out here in New York that they go to like almost every single meet and greet. So I got to sit down with them and talk about the whole history of like how they got started, which was great. So that's out there now. And then that is it. And
all right,
for this week, pretty much.
Right. All right. And then Mike, you're gonna keeping us in line.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's me.
All right, folks. Fig Cave. Have a good night.
Later.